Hey guys, Amos555 here. I had to restart the video because there's somebody talking in the background, unfortunately, but what can you do? So I was going to post this deck up once we get to 20 likes, but I just wanted to do it now because I finally found a build I liked, and I'm feeling generous today. Plus, I love you guys, so... anyways, that deck's other than X-Sabers. This deck is still very good. It's still very relevant. There's a lot of people that kind of just forgot about it. I mean, it was the best deck back in like 2011. You could argue that this Herald and Infernity were like the decks to compete with. But I think this deck is really consistent still. I essentially was just testing it a lot, and I realized that like everybody, and I was doing a lot of research as well. I noticed like a lot of people were running like basically 3 of everything, and I was kind of trying to figure out what the problem was. I was testing it online myself, and I just kept noticing I was drawing these really cloggy monster hands. And I was like, what's the issue? What's the monster I keep drawing and I don't really want to draw it? And I realized it's Ember's Blade. A lot of people might argue with me about this and disagree, but I think Ember's Blade's actually the worst monster in the deck now. I don't think it's relevant. I think Battle Searchers are really mediocre now. I just feel like it's really slow if you open with like multiple Dark Souls. I always notice the games I open multiple Dark Souls, I generally lose unless I have like good protection, because it's just too slow, and like you basically need to set it, right? Like you can't do anything else to get the Dark Soul to your hand other than set it, or pitch it with Redox if you're playing Redox. And I just realized that was a major issue. So I kept opening Dark Souls with the Ember's Blade, and I was like, well, do I set the Dark Soul or do I set the Ember's Blade? And a lot of times, like I had this one random game on DM, I'm not even kidding, this totally happened. This is going to be a long deck profile, by the way, not super long, but I just want to explain a lot of things with the deck, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about Sabers anymore, and I think it's a good thing to know about, especially if you're looking for something budget to build. But I noticed that like if you set Ember's Blade, or you set a monster right now, a lot of people are going to like think it's armor or something, and they're going to Dark Hole. I played this random guy in DN. He had no idea what I was playing. I never played him before. I opened up with Ember's Blade. I was like, okay, this hand's not bad. I set a couple back row, and I set the Ember's Blade. He just first turned Dark Holes. I actually lost that game because like straight up I lost the Ember's Blade, and from that point on I had nothing to grab me an advantage after that. I just slowly lost out. So if it was a Dark Soul, I would have been fine. But I think the problem is that Ember's Blade gets you to Dark Soul, but I believe that there's other ways to get to Dark Soul more consistently, where you don't have to clog your hand up. So I will say right now, if you're going to play this deck, I really think that you should try the deck without Ember's Blade. But anyways, I'll get more into my build as we go through it. So let's start things off here. So we do have the triple Faultroll. I tried out 2, and I found that like I wasn't seeing it enough. I was playtesting against my friend James last night, and he only plays 2, and he noticed like he wasn't getting it either, and I kept getting Faultroll plays off and stuff, and I 2-0'd him twice. So they're really good matches though, but mirror matches are pretty fun. You have to know how to play them really well, but I think this is the best guy in the deck. He honestly is. Like he basically just pluses for you. Like you summon him, he gets you a free +1. He opens up your big synchro plays and your overall OTKs and pushes. And you can just, you know, like 3 might clog, but this deck is so good going second. Like I always notice when I win the die roll, I always go second with it, and I usually win every single game just because this deck pushes so hard, and you know, it gains advantage really well. So I think you need to run 3 Faultroll. I think if you're playing, like this build's more control too, it's not OTK, so some people might argue with that, but I feel like Faultroll is just too strong to run just 2 of it. I see a lot of people like doing it in deck profiles and stuff, and I just think it's like the wrong thing to do. So 3 Boggart Knights, I think you need to run 3 of this as well. I tried out 2 and I just wasn't seeing it enough. Even with 3 Tenkies, I'd still run 3 of this guy, or 3 Tenkies, I'd still run 3 of this guy. Just for the pure fact that he opens up your big pushes. He is a 1900 beater by himself, and he's still a good card. I mean, he opens up those Hyunlai plays too with Pashuul, so I think 3 is really good. I think 2 is okay as well. I mean, like if you want to run like 2 Boggart, 2 Faultroll, that's perfectly fine as well. But then once again, I think if you're doing that, you need to start running Ember's Blade again. I don't think Ember's Blade is very good. So next up, we have the triple Dark Soul. This guy you always have to run 3 of. I've seen a lot of builds running like 2. I think that's fine as well. I mean, if you want to run like 2 and then a couple Ember's Blade or something, I guess that's okay as well. But once again, I don't like Ember's Blade. So this guy's basically just really good because you can just set him. He gets your searches. The ideal play is like you open up him with like a Tenki and a Faultroll. You're going to set him. They kill it, and then you search out your tuner, whatever you're looking for. You're going to play the Tenki, obviously, the previous turn, search out Boggart, and then you're just going to go off. You specialist back with the Faultroll, and then you can start doing your plays. I find that making... Actually, I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, you have to run 3 Dark Soul. This is a really weird build, but like I said, I've been testing this so much, and I think this is the best way to play the deck. Triple Fulhelmknight. Billy Brake, I remember I was watching a lot of his old deck profiles back before he even won the YCS. You guys should go back and watch his old Saber profiles. They're actually pretty funny because he talks about how he got so close to winning and how he topped again, but he couldn't do it. And it's just funny because it's like, oh, well, bro, you're going to win on your next one. Just be patient. But yeah, 3 Fulhelmknight. I was trying out 2 and the Arabellum, but I just realized like this card's too good. This effect is amazing. If you get off the effect where it attacks and it destroys a monster by battle, you special from your graveyard. It's really strong. It's also really good because if you're playing Mermails, which is actually a really good matchup for this deck, if you attack Lind and activate Fulhelmknight's effect to special a monster from your graveyard, usually going to be Darksoul. He can special another Fulhelm as well, which is pretty good though. Basically what's going to happen is the Lind, if he specials like Pike or Turge, it's going to miss timing because the last thing to happen is him specialing, and the Pike and Turge are optional, so you can't activate them inside of a chain. So this card's so good. The negate attack is still very relevant as well. And the card art's awesome too. The reason I don't run Arabellum, and I'm saying this right now, a lot of people are still running one Arabellum, is it's not that good anymore. Like, picking a card out of your opponent's hand is good, but I mean, you have to think about the fact that like there's Dark Worlds in the game. This is why people don't play Spirit Reaper. Like, if picking cards out of your opponent's hand was good still by attacking, people would be running Spirit Reaper because it's a great card. Yeah, Arabellum's not very good because of the pure fact that Dark Worlds is a deck, Dragons is a deck, Lightsworn's a deck. You don't want to be hitting like names into the graveyard and make their JD live. I don't know, there's a ton of decks. Like, just Sylvans is a deck. Like, you might help Sylvans out and get a dead Hermitry out of their hand, and they can like reborn it back with Miracle for like this. I don't know. I just find it's not relevant. The other thing that makes this guy so good as well is he gets under Bottomless, and that's very, very important. So I don't run Arabellum either. I think he's not very good. I'm just running 1 Pashuul. I don't run 2 because it clogs, and I find if you run 2, you have to run Reinforced Truth, which this card's okay, but it's not great. I mean, it stops OTKs, but the game's not that fast anymore anyway, so I feel like the OTK thing isn't really not like anything to worry about. And if they're gonna OTK you, say like Lightsworn's the biggest OTK deck right now, JD gets over this guy. It doesn't matter. So he's really just there for the one-on. You can search him with Rhoda. You can search him with Pashuul or Darksoul when you need it. And it lets you do like the Boggart plays. It also makes you a synchro for level 8s, and yes, that's a super. So yeah, very, very relevant, I would say. And I'm running the 1 Ragigura. I opted to do that over Pashuul, just because the fact that if late game, if you have a Faultroll in your graveyard, if you have a Boggart Knight and you have this guy in your hand, you can normal the Boggart, special this guy, add the Faultroll back, special Faultroll, and then you start doing combos again. So this guy also opens up the loop, which is actually fairly easy to do. So that's it for the X-Sabers, guys. It's just 14 monsters. Like I said, no Ember's Blade, no Arabellum, and only 1 Pashuul. Now, like I said, the reason for that is just I feel like Arabellum is just, or sorry, Ember's Blade is just not relevant right now. So 2 Bears. So this is more of a control build. I just realized like the deck's one thing that it doesn't do very well. Like, it hits back rows really well, and it also can swarm really easily in OTK, but what's the one thing it misses is it's very similar to lineups, and I found the same issue, is it lacks monster destruction. This works extremely well in the deck because you're running the 3 Tenkis and the 3 Boggart, and Ragigura is also a Beast Warrior as well, so I think 2 Bears is just really good. I was going to try 1. I've seen a lot of builds just running 1, but I found the second Bear's been putting in a lot of work. Like, I'll have a dead Tenki in the board, and I like top deck Bear, and I can just search it. It gives me another card. Another really good play is you have Tenki Darksoul, so you play the Tenki, you search out this guy, and you just set the Darksoul. And the fear in your opponent that you have a Bear in your hand is going to be coming down next turn is always there. So. And then we do have the 2 Maxx's. I think this card is extremely good right now. I see a lot of people are starting to run it again, which is great. Basically what this does is it just keeps you in the game. If you do end up going first, your opponent's playing like a faster deck and they go second and draw 6 cards and start going off, this can put you back in it. And I think you should be running Maxx right now. Most people should be, if it's the right deck. So that's the whole main or monster account, guys. That's 18 monsters. It's testing extremely well. On to spells. So we have triple Tenki. There's 6 targets in the deck, so I feel like 3 is definitely relevant. Plus we're running 2 Bears. 2 Pot of Dualities. I was kind of skeptical about this because it's like, okay, well, a lot of times you're going to be trying to go off, and you can't always, like, you draw this and you're like, oh, I can't use it this turn because I want to make a special summon play. This is just better early game, gets you to Tenki faster. It's really good in game 2 and 3 because it gets you your side deck cards faster as well. And it just adds consistency because the deck's a little slow the first couple turns, but mid to late game, Sabers is super, super aggressive and super fast. So 2 MSTs, a lot of people are cutting this card. I think it's still really good. Skill drain really hurts this deck, so that's a thing. Just 1 Rhoda. I was going to play 2, but I only have 4 targets. I mean, I don't want to draw too many monsters. I just found like I can search it when I need it, so I may try out 2. I don't know what I'd cut out. And maybe we'll cut out MST, or the 2 MSTs, and then run like a 2nd Rhoda and maybe a 3rd Trapstone or a 3rd Fiendish Chain or something. I don't know. 1 Mind Control. This card's amazing. You have to run Mind Control. And 1 Book of Moon. Really good card right now. Gets around Decree, and it helps you combo with Fulhelmknight, of course, which is really important. So that's it for spells, guys. And then for traps, we have 2 Gottoms Emergency Call. I think if you're playing like an Ember's Blade and you're going to be playing that really terrible, like, run 21 monsters X-Saber deck, then yeah, you can run triple Gottoms Emergency Call, but it's dead early game. I think the 2 is just the perfect number. You kind of draw it when you need it, and you're not getting cloggy openings with it, so 2 traps on this card's very good right now. That's one of the reasons I really like this deck, is the fact that you can just go Trapstone, Fulhelmknight, pop a bunch of back rows, and then you win the game. So super, super good. I'm not really going to say more about that. 2 Fiendish Chain. I mean, you could run 2 Breakthrough Skills instead, but I still like Fiendish Chain better. I think that both are equally good in their own ways. I could, one could argue that Breakthrough's better in this deck because it's good against Ophion, which can, kill your Saber plays, but it's not really a huge deal. 2 Deep Presence. It's better than Mirror Force right now. And then we have your staple traps. Torrential's really gross in this deck too, much like those windups. So that's the main deck, guys. 40 cards. Let's go on to the extra deck. What are we doing on time here? Not bad. So for 9s, I'm only running 1 Gottoms. I've seen some people run 2. I think you just need 1. You really don't need more than that. I've seen them running Mistworm in here, but I don't really know what exactly I would cut out for it. So I think 1's just fine. We do have the 1 Crimson Blader. Scrap Dragon. Blader is mainly just there for like Mermails and stuff. And Stardust Dragon, that's it for 8s. So just 3. The 1/7 Sauza. You can't actually make Black Rose in this deck. You can, but it's really awkward. You have to make it off like Ragigura, a Fulhelmknight, and a Darksoul. You can also make it with a Bear and a Fulhelmknight, but it's not really that good of a play because I'm wasting 2 cards to maybe blow up 3 or something like that. So I just find it's pointless running Black Rose in here. One of the reasons I want to put this deck in was this guy, and I actually, no joke, Goyo Guardian to Dude's Big Eye the other day. It was really funny, and he was super salty, and it's just like, yo, Goyo, meet the original, or I mean, yo, Big Eye, meet the original Monster Stealer. Up in your face. Awkward. So we got 2 Fulhelmknights. I've seen a lot of people as well running just 1 of this. That's bad. You need to run 2. If you like have the Fulhelmknight on the board, you summon Darksoul, or you have the Darksoul set and they don't kill it, and you flip up Darksoul, summon Fulhelmknight, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you synchro for online. They say they like Fiendish Chain Breakthrough Skill. Flip up the Gottoms, you bring back the same 2 monsters, you make another heal 9, you get rid of those back rows. Really strong. Unfortunately, you only still get 1 Dark Soul Search. The old ruling was you would have got 2, but super, 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 super good card. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't run more than 1, or at least 2. Barkion, I rarely make him, but he's there just because you can make him. Catastor, very good right now. And Nitrium Beast, I've only made him a couple times as well. So that's it for Synchros. You could also potentially run Armory Arm in here because I'm running Ragigura, but I haven't really had the chance to make it yet. So M7, good for the loop. Bouncer, just if you make a board and you know your opponent's going to try and make effect plays next turn, it's really good. The 1 Tire King. So I play this guy. I don't own 101, of course. I play 101 instead, but I play this guy because if you open like a weird hand with like double Boggart Knight and some back rows or something, you can go Boggart, make this guy, search a Tenki, flip it up, search out your Bear, and then you're in a better spot. Like, you're basically just replacing the 2 Tenkis with a 2200 or 2300, I guess, with a Tenki on the board and a Bear in your hand. So it leaves you in a better spot than just having 2 Tenkis on the board. And I'm running 1 Zenmains. I finally got a secret rare. Yay! I think that you need a 3 because of Mind Control, and it just helps with like gain over Ophion and stuff as well. So that's the deck, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. I think the deck is a lot of fun if you're looking for something budget to play. I ordered all the rest of the cards to make sure it's all going to be blinged out. So I'm going to have like Ulti Darksouls and Ultra, Gottoms Emergency Calls and whatnot. But you can play the deck very budget. Like, it's actually pretty cheap. Like, you can get Gottoms is a rare now. You can get like Darksoul, Fulhelmknight, all those cards, Ember's Blade. They all got reprinted as supers. So I mean, it's all pretty cheap to build. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think of the deck, how you feel about X-Sabers, how you like my build. If you agree with me on Ember's Blade, I'm really curious about that one. I think a lot of people aren't going to, but I think that a lot of them haven't actually thought to test the deck without Ember's Blade, and I guarantee it's a lot faster. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.